Also,
still have my Scape Line 60?
Yeah, it's got a biotype in it.
Hey.
We'll go and see it, yeah.
So here's the Scaper Line 60, and here's the Aquascape 1500.
Forget about the Amazon, forget about the Pantanal, forget about the Cerrado grasslands, forget about nature in Brazil. That would be the end. Endangered, and so many other Central American live bearers are either almost extinct or have been pretty much wiped out.
If you've not seen Ty's channel before, please subscribe. What is your channel name?
Biotopia.
Texture's beautiful, isn't it, Ty?
It is nice.
So this is actually from Amano'S tank. We're cutting from his tank.
Hi everyone, my name's George.
And I'm Ty.
You may have seen us work together before in a few videos.
Yeah.
And this one's really special because this is Ty's new aquarium system and nature aquarium Aquascape in the location where his Aquascape 1500 was.
Yeah.
Which we'll show you towards the end of the video.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah? Is it okay to show?
Yeah.
So over to you, Ty. Just take us through the system.
Alright, so this is a WEO 75p tank.
75p,
yeah.
so 75 centimetres long.
Yeah.
Which is, for our American friends, 24 inches plus 6, 32 inches. 30 inches, sorry. You got it from Aquarium Gardens.
Yeah, because I had wanted to take the 1500 out of here because it dominated a bit, and I found that in the kitchen I wasn't getting the time to sit down and enjoy it. So I've got it in the garage where I can actually sit on a chair and take it in.
Yeah.
And I wanted a small tank here. The 60 was too small, a 90 was just too big, and the 75 was perfect. And my wonderful friend Ian Watson, who you've met, who's our
pilot friend.
Yeah, multi-talented. He's an international airline pilot, carpentry guy, tech whiz.
He loves driving fast cars as well.
Fast car, 3D printing any component of anything you need. He built me this cabinet, and the doors aren't on it yet just because we need to make a few adjustments.
Yeah, I quite like the open look.
Beautiful. It's a pine.
Yeah.
So he did it in his workshop. He makes amazing furniture. He 3D prints, so his cabinet at home, he's 3D printed components like fertilizer feeder system.
Oh, like auto-dosing.
Auto-dosing, and he's got like an iPad in there so you can control everything. He's a complete tech whiz, but he's also wonderful with his hands at making stuff out of wood. So he's made me this beautiful sturdy cabinet with adjustable feet. We're just waiting to put the doors on, and yeah, it was a real joy. He was like, yeah, I'll make it for you just for the cost of the parts. And
sounds like a super talented guy.
Really talented and really generous.
Mm.
And so the tank is sitting on this cabinet. We're just waiting for the beautiful doors to go on, and it's filtered by Wazi Biomaster Thermo 600 because I like over filtering everything.
That's probably about right in terms of circulation for a high-tech nature aquarium.
Yeah, I suppose you are right.
Yeah, you want at least 5-10 times circulation.
Then it's
about right.
Suitable.
Yeah.
It's a GLA CO2 system on there, and the cylinders also from Aquarium Gardens. I'm dosing with the APT. There's an ADA one here, but this is actually some Tropica Ferts in an ADA bottle, which I'm sure is a crime.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So the APT stuff, this is from Horizon Aquatics.
Okay.
When I was up there recently, they generously gave me some.
Nice.
I've got the WEO light mounts on here.
Yeah.
And then Ian, again, very generously, he's long-term loaned me this.
Should I be jealous of Ian?
Yeah,
Is he going to
should.
become your best mate?
Well, you guys are going to have to fight it out at some point.
Okay.
This Chihiros Chihiros Vivid light, and I've loaned him some WEO bamboo lights for him to test.
Okay, cool.
And I'm testing this one.
I really like the colour rendition.
Yeah.
Can you adjust the spectrum?
Yeah, you can adjust it via the app.
And intensity?
Yeah, intensity.
Is it on full whack now?
It's not on full whack, but it's on all colour spectrum.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
You have like a shrimp option or fish option.
Yeah.
The WEO bamboo lights are amazing for growing plants. They do give the shimmer effect, and I was finding that when I had the flow set quite high, that was on the big tank. That was annoying me, so I loaned them to.
It's a bit
Ian.
kind of too vibrant.
But
too much going on.
If you have a slow flow, they're
That's
great, and they're
yeah.
very, very strong lights for what they are.
Yeah.
So Ian is trialing them and is enjoying them on his high-tech tank, and I'm trialing the Chihiros.
Yeah. Just to go back to the Wio bamboos, they're a very similar form factor to the Kessels, aren't
Yeah.
they? So for people that aren't aware of the Wio bamboos, because I know they're quite a new product still.
Yeah.
So like a Coke can kind of thing with like a one LED lens, but with a dense matrix of LEDs underneath that lens. So
Yeah.
you get this point source light, but it's spread really well. And then, like you say, when you add that ripple,
You
you get the
shimmer effect,
refraction and you get this beautiful shimmer.
which is really nice on like a stream biotope. And we set up the Congo lagoon display for the Aquatic Habitats book that we're doing,
That's right.
and we used the large Wio 75 watt bulbs, and it brings out the purples and the sort of shimmering effect on fishes
Like no other.
like no other. So each light has its
Advantages and
disadvantages, and places where you might or might not use it.
yeah.
I like the Chihiros in here. I have to admit that actually this is going to be supplanted by an ADA solar RGB,
And that's probably one of the best lights you can get.
which I know you're not so hot on the very vivid green of those, but I really like them, so that's what's going to go
I
on.
prefer this solar RGB pendant to the Aquascape RGB.
It's a pendant that I'm
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, in my view. I don't know if
Okay.
there is a different spectrum, but in my mind there is.
Well, we'll be able to test it because there is a Aquascape on the 6cm in the garage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the sort of system involved.
itself.
CO2 isn't inline; it's using one of the diffusers from Aquarium Gardens. Those sort of, you can see it in the back corner, maybe.
Bazooka.
Yeah, something that I think.
It's like a ceramic,
Yeah.
like a tube instead of a
Exactly.
disc. Yeah, they're very good actually. The microbubbles.
Inside the tank, there are fish in here. Believe it or not, as you can see, there's several ottos who are really confident.
Yeah, but there are some tetras, aren't there?
Yeah, so both the tetras and the ottos are from Maintained Aquatics Huntingdon, and they are gold tetras and the Hemigrammus rodway, but they are not the gold colour.
Hemigrammus rodway.
Yeah. So when you buy gold tetras,
Yeah.
and they're from the wild, they are actually gold, and captive reared ones are a silvery grey, but I quite like them like that, and they've got these sort of quite.
You like the
high
wild
fins.
variety?
I like the captive variety.
Oh, you like the wild?
Well,
the captive with the silver.
To be honest, the gold ones are just infected by this trematode parasite,
Okay.
which you don't get in captivity. And in the wild, the gold ones wouldn't live very long anyway.
Water's quite clear.
It is clear, isn't it? Well filtered. Gold ones wouldn't live very long anyway in the wild because the whole reason the parasite infects them and turns them gold is so that they stand out from the rest of the shoal and they are easily visible to predators.
Interesting.
And then the parasite can complete its life cycle
In the predator.
in the gut network of a predator, like a heron or a wolffish. Or
Is
something.
that its final destination? Is it?
Yeah. So, to be honest, fishes that are infected, it's a death sentence.
Yeah. For more ways than one. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like a predatory thing as well as a chronic illness.
Yeah. Well, they can live with it for years.
Oh, okay.
They don't.
It isn't actually an illness.
This is the thing. It doesn't inhibit their life cycle, except that everyone can now see you and eat you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the silver ones are in here. It's funny. In the shop, wonderfully confident. The 2 times I've had these ones, put them in the tank. It takes a couple of weeks for them to really settle. They've only been in here for about a week.
It's very bright light, to be fair.
It is a bright light.
There's a bit of CO2 as well. Sometimes that can affect them.
When I sit here for a while and they think no one's in the room, they come out and dance about.
I'm going to give you. Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to give you an Awaze Crystal Skim 350.
Oh, that would be
You
very
need,
generous.
you need some surface skimming on here, I'd say.
That would be fantastic.
I'm using my 600 version on my Highline 400.
Okay, that
And
works
it's
well.
really great. And a fun hack is feeding flake food
Yeah.
for obviously the hatchet fish especially.
Yeah.
The skim is very effective. It sucks in the flake food, and then sometimes the hatchet fish will get some.
Yeah.
And then it sucks in, and if you remove the, well, depending on how fine it is before it gets in, it blows it through the bottom because the skimmer doesn't actually blow circulation this way laterally. It blows it longitudinally, up and down. So it sucks in the food and blasts it downwards, and then the other fish have a load of.
That would be ideal.
Yeah,
That would be ideal.
and it's also great for minimising. It's not an issue in here, but any dead spots in the corner of your aquarium or anywhere, because it's actually blowing that CO2-rich water directly onto the plants.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying it in here. There are other fish in here. There's a pair of Epistogramma borelli opal, which is just a very colourful form of the borelli, which I got at an auction at the East Anglian cichlid group on Sunday, where I gave a talk, and they were auctioning fish, and I got this little pair, and they've gone in here, and I've not seen them since. So that's typical of
Just those until they get settled in.
Yeah.
Maybe. And what makes them super colourful? Is that a mutation or?
I don't know. I mean, I've collected Borella in the wild, and they're really colourful anyway. So
these are even more so.
Yeah, I googled
It's okay.
That's the kitchen clock.
That's the kitchen clock. It's such an awesome kitchen.
So there's Borelli, there's the Ottos, there's the Tetras, which are currently in hiding. And actually it was an ADA tank that inspired this design.
Was it really?
Yeah, there's this beautiful 180, I think, display.
Do you have that to hand?
It's a video it's a video on Instagram. Oh no,
on
YouTube, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So you maybe link to it.
Yeah.
And they've used Blixer Orberti, and they've done it beautifully with yellowtail Congo tetras, Phoenicogrammus cordalis, I think. And I thought that the silver shiny Hemigrammus looked rather like smaller versions of them, so I thought I'll use them. And I liked the layout, and I wanted something fairly minimal maintenance in here. And I went to Aquarium Gardens.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Dave called me, but I've been planning to go there anyway. And he said, "Oh, we're shutting down 1500 today. Do you want some pieces?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." So I
That's awesome.
got given a lot of stuff. But there's also plants from wildwoods, the tall green Helantium bolivianum, which is a carpeting plant. It looks a bit like Vallis right now.
I was going to say, I wondered what that species was.
Yeah, so that it's a bit battered because it was in some plastic bags for a while.
Put in the back of my 400 mixed up with all the.
Well, give it 2 weeks and I'll have lots of little offshoots to pinch off, and I'll give it to you. There's the Eleocharis montevidensis, which is from Aquarium Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to Horizon Aquatics the other week and saw James and Nicole there, they had some of this Microsorium sp green gnome.
Green gnome, yeah.
And I was really taken with it, and I got some with them, which was really nice. Bucephalandra, all from Aquarium Gardens, as is the Hygrophilippines feeder.
Nice.
There's various mosses in there.
Crypts as well?
Yeah, crypts from Aquarium Gardens, and Bulbitus,
Bulbitis.
which I put in here. I've not normally been such a fan of Bulbitus, but I thought I'll give it a go. And Dave from Aquarium Gardens said if you put it under the ADA Solar RGB, it will do really, really well. So hopefully it will.
Good.
And then it's got Weo kind of river gravel mixes in here,
Nice.
and just some big boulders from the stream in the
From the
garden.
I remember using these in the Aquatic Habitats book
So I
project.
thought I'll just make sort of a fairly solid.
Yeah, I remember
display.
lifting this one, it was really heavy.
Yes, they're good workouts. And I'm thinking about putting the Nasea crassicalis, which is this
Big
Big.
stem. Is it a bit rampant? Is it a bit.
it gets quite solid stem, orange to red colours.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of putting a few here and just 1 or 2 stems on this side, just to bring out some colour, something at the surface. And hopefully the Hygrophilippines feeder will scramble over everything, and it will slowly mature. But I actually find I really like this size of tank. It's awkward because a 75 nothing is standard. So like light grounds, I would like to get a light ground at some point. It's not like a 60 or a 90 or a 120 where everything's made, you have to work around it.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit bigger than a 60, quite a lot bigger than a 60.
Yeah. What's the volume then? 30, 40 gallons? 120 litres?
I
100
think
litres?
something like that, about 120 odd litres. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 30, 33
And it's-
gallons. Yeah.
It's just the right size.
It is. And what wood is it?
The wood is
Just general driftwood.
originally from Aquarium Gardens,
Oh, okay.
I think, and they're pieces that I've just broken up and snapped off.
Awesome.
And then I took some stones out of my stream, which were already covered in alphalus and green algae, and put them in so the Ottos have something, and it'll go across the other stones and help colonise it faster.
Yeah.
Metal pipe work, I don't know what brand it is, but it's in there. And
You've done a great. Did you escape this all yourself then?
yeah, I know, that sounds
It's not
wow,
even,
Ty.
it's not even too linear.
Yeah, it's not even too linear, and it's got hardscape. I sent a picture to Dave and said, "There, is that enough hardscape for you?"
Just can I just say one thing?
Yeah, that's fallen.
I'll never about. I actually quite like it.
Okay.
This stone here,
Yeah.
it's like dead middle,
Yeah.
and you'd actually create more depth if you moved it over here or something, and then you could actually create like
We can do that.
an alleyway. We could do that part of the video.
Yeah. We'll talk about it, and then I'll unleash you on it.
You know what I'm like, mate. Oh no, you're going to talk about the scope.
I wanted to talk about this plant, which I have mentioned before previously.
Is it a
Philodendron.
Yeah.
This was a gift from Pete at Riverwood Aquatics.
Oh yeah.
And it's a cutting of the philodendron. It's a cutting of a cutting
Yeah.
of the philodendron that grows out of Amano'S big tank in his home. Pete was given a cutting by a friend, an Aquascape friend, and it's growing rampant in his shop.
Wow.
And I was kind of fawning over it. He said, "I can give you a bit if you like," and he did.
That's
So
so awesome.
That's
It's
it.
just a piece of history right there.
Yeah.
I don't actually own anything that was in the Amano'S tanks, but there's a similar story with Adam Paszkela from ADA Poland,
Yeah.
from his studio, and he had quite a lot of different really cool, unique plants in his 150 centimetre that are originally from Amano'S home giant tank. Yeah, was that?
That's
was this?
Yeah. No, this is an epiprimnum from a garden centre.
No,
This is the one that's.
from his home tank.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing the plant growing out.
Yeah,
It's really distinctive leaf form, isn't it?
And I'm hoping it grows really slowly with me.
Yeah.
Pete has got it growing out of a tank against a window, and it's got
Yeah.
already huge. I think it's 1.5 metres sort of long in places.
Yeah.
But it was a really generous gift of him. So so the various shops and people have put their
Efforts
efforts into this display.
And you're the kind of artist that's put it all together and created
Oh.
this beauty.
I hope it's all very new. It's only been running about 10 days.
Yeah, but the plants are all mature, aren't they? From that.
Yeah. I'm really excited about what the Java fern does, because I've never really had any success with Java fern. And someone was saying it really likes lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of CO2, more than any other epiphyte. I don't know. To get it looking that lush.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. I would say a lot of everything, like CO2 and other nutrients. If any one of those things is too much,
Don't it?
I am. Although too much CO2, apart from killing the fish, is normally a bad thing. But maybe dropping the pH too much.
Yeah, I've got the drop checker, and Dave is the one who said to me, "You must use a drop checker. Use drop checkers." He said, "What's your CO2 like?"
Don't know, mate.
Don't know. 3 bubbles per second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does the drop checker say? I don't use them. He was not happy with me.
I don't use them either.
Wow. We have to bow to Dave on this one.
He is probably a bit more experienced with
He
the
is.
overall turning over of high-end scapes.
So yeah, my only thing at the moment is the fish choice. Although I'm happy with them, they don't show up. But I'm never ever going to get them out of here. So they're in here for now. I don't really want to add anything else, because there's about 12 or 14 of them. Would you believe it? So
I do believe it, because I've seen your tanks before, and we've tried to photograph fish before,
And
and
they
tend to hide a lot.
Yeah,
for us.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the water. But they're just hanging out in the middle. They're not unhappy, and they do come out and feed. And in the evening, when they think there's no one in the room,
Yeah,
if I come and go and sit at that end of the table and just wait,
yeah.
then they're out. And
Nice.
I
Well, hopefully before I go we'll get some nice footage of them.
yeah.
But if not, it's an opportunity for another visit.
Yeah, and hopefully by then they might be more confident
Yeah.
and coloured up, and you can always come back.
Well, I really love it, mate, and it was a lovely surprise to see it. I kind of subconsciously knew that it would be here, because I talked about the plans, but I was still expecting the big tank for some reason. I came in and saw this beautiful little gem,
Thank you.
I really love it.
I never thought I'd say it, but I'm really glad not to have a big tank,
Big tank, yeah.
in this space.
Yeah.
This feels much more approachable.
Also,
Also,
still have my Scape Line 60.
yeah, it's got a biotype in it.
Has it?
We'll go and see it. Yeah.
Oh, I promised the audience a preview of it.
Yeah.
Because I said I actually got a video that's scheduled in 3/4 of an hour.
Okay.
It's an update of the 400 High Line, and they said I was talking about advantages of a lid.
Yeah.
I said, but I do miss a rimless tank, and then I remembered I gave mine to you.
Well, it currently has a DIY lid. You'll see.
Nice.
But I even cleaned the glass and did a water change because I knew you were coming.
There you go.
So
Good.
it's, the fish.
Bit of accountability.
Yeah. Cleaned all the glass, wiped all the surfaces. I wanted to give a little shout out to A.D. Myers actually.
Oh, I love AD.
Partly because he's just amazing aquascape and a really lovely guy, but also the way that he does the kind of grading with his gravels.
Yeah.
When I started putting this together, I was like, I need to think like AD a little bit and try and he makes it look really effortless and really nice graded, but he takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Whereas you know me, I'm just kind of like throw it in, if it works, it works.
Chaos, yeah.
Yeah. But I had his tanks in mind when I was doing the pebbles and thinking about where would the current deposit heavier stones and smaller stones. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks to all the shops and people that have contributed.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to go really AD, you could get even smaller grains.
Yeah.
Even more detailing, and like I said, just create a bit more,
of a gradient,
less linear.
Well, what I wanted to do was show off the ADA La Plata sand, and I was trying to do a Dave by putting in like 1 mil depth of some
1
sort.
grain thick.
Because especially given the price of it, I love it. But I can make one bag. This is all I used, like barely even that for the whole tank. I hadn't tried La Plata before.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And
it's very popular.
I have tried Colorado.
Yeah,
and
I said a bit more reddy brown, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought this would be something to try out. And this is a mix of ADA, WIO, WASI. The whole hobby is represented almost in this display. And
it's a cosmopolitan.
Exactly.
Setup, including the plants. I mean, you've got ones from Borneo, you've got some from India,
you've
got some from South America, Africa.
There's Anubias, Bulbatus.
All your fish are from South America, though, aren't they?
All the fish. That tends to be my kind of thing. Like, I'll have fish from one region, but the plants might be from all over the place.
If you've not seen Ty's channel before, please subscribe. What is your channel name?
Biotopia.
Biotopia.
On YouTube.
How many subscribers have you got now?
I think on YouTube there's about 8,500 maybe, and then Instagram it's like 11,000, nearly 11.
But I'm an aquascaper, and I talk about aquascaping and how to do it and why we do it. But Ty is the fish expert who's getting into more aquascaping.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen his content, it's amazing. Loads of underwater footage from Brazil.
I've got another expedition coming up.
Have you?
I'm going on the 21st of November to the northeast of Brazil, to the Caatinga region, which is a semi-arid, pretty much like a desert region.
Wow.
And I'm going with my friend Juliana. She's a botanist specialist in aquatic plants.
Yeah.
And we're doing like a 2,000-mile road trip. And everywhere that there's water, we're going to get out the car, and I'm going to try and film and photograph underwater, and she's going to do the same, but also document the plants that we find there.
Oh,
and I'm going to look for fish. So it's only 12 days.
Yeah.
But we're going to pack in a lot, and it will be a part of Brazil that I've not been to.
Brazil's got a new president, and the nature's going to be saved.
The result of the election is good for nature if the government manages to do the things that it says it will do.
Yeah.
If the election had gone the other way, forget about the Amazon, forget about the Pantanal, forget about the Cerrado grasslands, forget about nature in Brazil. That would be the end.
Oh dear.
Pretty much. So we're grateful for small mercies.
Yeah.
And it was good to wake up the other day and go, at least something
positive.
Something positive.
Yeah.
Something positive. And for many of our fishes, here's a tetra.
Yay.
Amazingly, there's a fish
just in time, because he's saying cheers to the planet.
Yeah. Well, I would really recommend these gold tetras. I know people go in the shop and they see the silver ones rather than the bright gold ones, and they think, they're all drab. The males display to each other beautifully. They've got lovely white edging on the fins and a bit of red on the caudal part of the tail. They are normally really confident and gregarious and out and in the open. They're really hardy. They're not expensive. And you can, to be honest, if you were doing a biotope and you filled it with only the gold variety, that would be inaccurate. What you would have, you'd have, say, 85, 90% the silver form, and then a smattering of the gold ones. Because the gold ones get predated. Actually, you can see some males sparring right now in the middle. But here they come. So in the Pantanal, you see this parasite infects other tetras that we're quite familiar with in the hobby. So serpe tetras, red-eye tetras, black neon tetras, all ray-eye tetras. And they either go gold or they go really bright silver. And again, you see a couple of them dotted around the shoals of the normal coloured ones.
They're the ones that get predated.
And if you're on a boat or in a canoe, you spot them really clearly from the water, which is the same way a kingfisher would see them and then go, I'll grab that one.
That's interesting.
So that would be a more accurate way of doing a biotope. Most of them, the grey form, and then a couple of gold ones mixed in.
I've got a question for you. I think I know the answer, but viewers might not know. If having an attractive colour makes you more predatable, or more easily seen by predators, why are neon tetras, serpo tetras, cardinal tetras so colourful?
This is a really good question, and it's one I've asked my supervisor Fernando, he's a specialist on Hyphosabricon, and we've talked about serpe tetras particularly. And it's the colour spectrum of certain predators as well. So there's a lot of talk about the colours that birds see. They might not see red the way that we see red, or the way that a wolffish sees red might not be the way that we see red. But something that's shiny and glittering, that is really visible, even in like a low light condition. So if you become shiny gold, it's actually more dangerous than if you're bright red, because the visual spectrum of the predators in your environment are attuned to see the glitter rather than
So it's basically a different visual interpretation for different animals.
I don't have a scientific answer that I can pull out of the hat, but many marine fishes, for example, the colours that they display, if you were another marine fish looking at them, they wouldn't look as vivid, but the spectrum is important for relaying signals, so messaging like I'm content, or I'm afraid, or be aware there's danger, or I'm ready to breed. But we see something and go, oh, it's bright and colourful and pretty, that's really nice.
Yeah, interesting.
So nature is just
And it's funny how we kind of project our own like human we everything is through us.
Yeah.
And we just assume that everyone sees what we do. Because that's a human, I think, personally. I'm like,
anthropomorphizing
is that the
things.
word?
Yeah. But it is a really good question, because like poison dart frogs, if they're bright red, but a serpe tetra is bright red, why is one visibly not edible to predators and the other one is mostly ignored? I don't know.
We don't know.
It would be fascinating to...
If you do know, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'd love someone to chip in and say, actually guys, this is why.
It's been a while since I've seen you, so thanks mate. I've really enjoyed doing this, and it's great to have a proper chat again about fish tanks and aquascapes.
Always welcome here, George.
Cheers mate. Thanks for watching everyone.
Thank you guys.
Don't forget to subscribe to Ty. Cheerio.
Bye, take care.
So here's the Scaper line 60, and here's the Aquascape 1500. And here's your seating area.
Yeah, this is going to be a sofa space down here. And I've got my WEO 60p with the 88 Aquascape light there.
Nice.
And this is a biotope for the book. That's a biotope for the book. This is a biotope for the book.
I can feel another vlog coming on. Well, we can't spoil too much for the book.
But this one we can talk about. These are spotted Scyphia multicomptata. They're a little Mexican live bearer.
Nice.
These ones came from Ely Exotics, and where Tom, the owner there, has a nice selection of weird and wonderful fishes.
It's Tom that used to work for Amwell, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
I know Tom.
And
he's into reptiles as well, isn't he?
yeah, it's also got reptiles there. And this is just a sort of Mexican pool biotope, and it's a good chance to talk about how these fishes are endangered, and so many other Central American live bearers are either almost extinct or have been pretty much wiped out. But they're quite fun fish. They spent the first day hiding, and then they came out. Now they're out and about, and
very cool.
They're quite...
It's a nice scape, I like it.
I wanted to do something simple that most people could achieve,
perfect.
but that looked natural and organic.
I think it's cool, man.
And this looks a little bit dishevelled because I put in 3 days ago all this Booth, Bobatus and Anubias.
From the Graham Gardens?
Yeah, from Aquarium Gardens. And it's a sort of slow growing tank. Crypts, some swords, lots of tetras.
Amazing.
Myriphilum Roraima, which went to you and has now come back to me.
Cool, man.
And
Hi everyone, George here, and this is a sound check. Please sit down, Ty. This is a great little...
I will sit down.
Oh well.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So, Ty.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to go and sit in front of the camera, and then we can chat about this beautiful...
It's like between two ferns. Have you seen that?
Oh, no.
Comedy. You know the big bearded guy from... it's a stupid series of movies about wedding... where they go on weddings and they wake up after benders.
I don't know. Oh, Hangover.
The bearded guy from Hangover.
I know him. I haven't actually watched any of the Hangover movies yet.
The only one. The first one is best. You'd enjoy that, maybe. So he interviews people on there.
in between two ferns, and we're two people in between, and ferns are in between two people.
Yeah, diversity. Diversity of ferns. Maybe we'll edit that bit out because I was rambling more about.
You're rambling more than me.
Yeah. Yeah, mind the crystal. Right, if we start from
what the pros do.